Good evening, Anna.
Hi, Walter. Good evening. How is everything?
Okay, thanks. What about you?
I'm fine. Thank you. Everything is great. Thank you for asking. So, we're going to continue. We're going to start. But before today, could you please explain me a little bit about the present continuous time tense? When do we have to use? Could you please, and then, could you please give me maybe 2 examples about it?
Present continuous tense.
Yes, please.
Okay. It's an action who is doing or is happening in the moment, and you have to use the ing with the verb to talk about the present continuous. So an example of present continuous is I am trying to explain you about the present continuous.
Okay. This time tense, you told me that it's happening right now, okay? Is it necessary to use this time tense only to express situations that are happening right now? I mean, right now, right here, or not?
Yeah. No, it can be a thing who is happening in these days, maybe.
Okay, thank you. But when we say present continuous, we focus on what? On the present or on what?
In the present. And the action who is in, and the action of the present.
All right, we focus on the continuation of an action, right?
Yes.
How about the past continuous? Is it similar or how is it?
It's almost the same, but in the past. It's a thing, yeah, that you it's a thing who is happening in the past, but another action interrupt that.
Okay, again, when we talk about a continuous form, we focus on the continuation of an action. That's something that it's not going to change. Then if I say past continuous, it means that at some point in the past, we had an action, we had a situation that it was in progress, but it lasted, okay? It was in a progressive form. That's the reason of why it is called past continuous. The past is the structure, right? And yes, the time tense. And when we say ing form, it means that maybe started 2 weeks ago and it lasts for one entire week, okay? So you have to take care in that part, okay? When we say continuous, we always focus on the continuation of an action, and it could be in the past, for the present, or could be in the future, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, in a fast way, you have 5 seconds to think. No, we didn't do that activity with you. Could you please mention 5 verbs in the participle form? And this verb needs to be irregular verbs. 5 irregular verbs, and it's 3 ways.
Oh, okay. Maybe drunk. Buy both.
Okay.
Hide, hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Keep, kept.
Okay. One more.
I don't know. Maybe sell, sold, sold.
Okay, that verb is a regular verb, right? Maybe you could say be was were being is an irregular
Yeah.
verb.
Okay.
All right. Why is it called irregular verbs?
Regular verbs are the verbs that you have to plus the ed to change the the to change in the past. You have to plus the ed at the last of the word
And,
at the end.
and how about the irregular verbs? Why is it called, or how can I recognize if a verb is an irregular one, for example?
Like be, was, were, and being. The word change when you are talking in the present, past, or present continuous, or past participle. Sorry.
Okay. Well, it changed the base of the verb, right?
Yes.
That's the answer. When we change the base of the verb, then it's an irregular verb. If we don't, or we maybe in these cases talking about the regular verbs, we only add ed. Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's cool. You answer it was cool, right? Okay, so right now, what lesson do we have for today? Okay, I love the recorded class, right?
Yes.
Today's recorded class. I already assigned the homework, as I explained you in the audio. I really got confused with one of my other students. And then I assigned you homework that it was not yours. Well, it was yours, but you already did, right? So for I already deleted, but maybe for any situation it's gonna appear you again. So it was not supposed to, right? But if it appears you, just submit it, right? So the only homework that you have to do, and I assign you, it was the use of which, past and real conditional, and be supposed to.
Okay.
That we didn't do that part, right?
The what part? Sorry.
The use of, I'm gonna check. Don't worry. Give me a second.
Okay.
See one. Oh, model B. Okay. Yes. All right. Now, I'm going to the last homework I gave you, right? It was about module B, right?
Yeah.
Before it was future in the past, passive causative, reported statements, right? That was the last homework you did.
Yes.
Okay. Now you're gonna have homework, right? I thought I assigned you, so I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna share my screen with you. Once you can see it, please let me know.
Okay, can see.
Okay, cool. So this is gonna be your homework, right? We're gonna start with present or real conditional. That lesson we've seen on Wednesday, right? But before to show you, right? Oh yes, this one. Yes. Okay, so there you have the homework, right? And you're going to have, we're on Thursday, right? And you're going to have 1, 2, 4. Okay. Until Wednesday, right? In order to finish it until midnight. Okay. Pearson is gonna grade your capitalization, your punctuation if it's necessary, and you're gonna have a model answer at the end of each exercise. Okay, so I already assigned you the homework and the quiz. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Is there any question, maybe?
No, now I have 125 segments.
No. In what part? Sorry, what?
I'm seeing my assignments. Now I
Yes.
have 125.
Okay. Maybe I don't know what happened. I thought, and I'm sure, right? I'm sure. I already assigned you this homework on Wednesday, but for a reason, right? It doesn't appear to me because when I assign maybe the homework for my students, for example, it appears like this part, for example, right? These
Okay.
are marks, right? But it doesn't appear to me, right? Right now, in this part, it doesn't appear to me, even though look at this, I just assign you, but it doesn't appear,
Yes,
right?
because
So if you have,
I was trying to see my assignment and I had assignments and now I have more. I don't know
no,
if it's the same.
yes, it's the same, don't worry. But
Okay.
I would recommend you to take a pic of this, maybe take a screenshot.
Okay.
So you're gonna remember, right? The only part that you have to do, I'm going to explain it. The grammar part, in the grammar part, you only have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 assignments, okay? In
Okay.
grammar part, right? Then look at the lesson, please. We have which, past and real, conditional, and be supposed to. There is no more, okay?
Okay.
Then in the video listening, I didn't assign the resources because it's something unnecessary. You have a pre-listening information, and it's about, you're gonna remember this pic. If you want, you can take a pic of this. This is pre-listening 1, okay? And then the 2 videos, right, are part of it. So we have 1 and 2. Well, it was supposed to be 1. Then we have the pre-listening 2, right? Then it's about this guy's telling, I don't know who is this guy. So look at, try to take a pic of this and a screenshot, okay?
Yep.
And yes, okay, that's all. All right, so you have 1 and 2, right? In the vocabulary part, right, you have 3 options, right? 3 exercises. We are overacting, sorry. You have the speaking part, right? So try to take a pic of this, please. So then when you're gonna start doing your homework, then because of, you're gonna guide with your title, right? So if it says, for example, okay, you're overacting, right? So then you have to notice that that's your lesson, right? So it's
Okay.
overacting, and then in speaking we have blaming and comforting, right? There you have it, and both are okay. And then what else? Role play 1. I'm gonna grade this part. Okay. So there you have the name. You're gonna remember this pic. What else? Okay, so until this part, that will be, and then we have the task listening, right? Optimist or pessimist. You have the pronunciation, right? What is this? Oh, okay, it's only like listening, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, you have to listen some audios. And then in the pronunciation, we have on stress code words. Take a pic of this, please. Take on the screen. In the reading part, you have okay, something about flowers, right? Bouquet of flowers. Then you have floral protocol. This is the reading part. And in writing, you have to write an essay, I guess, right? So it's about a canceled celebration, right?
Yep.
So it's everything is about flowers, right? And then in the review quiz, the grammar, it's everything that we've seen in class, right? So there is nothing new, right? If you maybe are not sure about something, just text me, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna answer at that moment, okay?
Okay, it's okay.
All right, so with all of these model that I show you, right, these titles I showed you, I hope you don't have problems with it, okay?
Yes, it's only for C1. Really?
Yes, only C1.
Okay.
Right, I'm not sure, I've never tried before, so I don't know if Pearson launched the homework with C1
I
and
think
C2, for
I
example.
think it's Pearson because you assigned me from model B, B2 to
Yes,
before again. So I don't gonna do that. Just I'm
yes,
gonna do the C part.
yes, please, I don't know if it's a problem from Pearson, I don't
Okay.
know. And you
Yeah.
know what? Pearson, it's a big platform, right? So we have, apart from my English lab, we have other units, other books. We have children's books. We have a lot of, right? It's a community. We have
No.
Top Notch from Pearson, and then and all the books, right? All the platforms are suffering a problem. So it's Pearson, right? I
Yeah.
asked to my colleagues and they told me the same, right? So we have to explain this part, right? But I already showed you. I hope you don't have inconvenience with it. If you have it, right? I hope no. Just let me know, right?
Okay.
All right, that's cool. So, okay, we're gonna continue. We're in C2, right? Present and real conditional. And as I said in the video, I disagree with this order because there was supposed to be an order, right? From zero, first, second, and third conditional, right? But we already seen the third conditional, but this is the second one. So I don't know why is this at the end if we already seen this. I don't know if you remember in the whiteboard. So I disagree with the order of this lesson, right? Now I noticed because I said the other day, I said, okay, but I wasn't sure, right? On Wednesday, I wasn't sure because I asked myself if we've seen this lesson before. And I don't know if you've noticed that oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to continue, right? We sometimes have problems like this. So as I was explaining you, right? I'm going to explain this part in Spanish, right? Pasa que, bueno, tenemos una editorial que es una editorial americana, que es Pearson. Pearson tiene muchos libros, tanto para niños, para adolescentes y para adultos, ¿no? Entonces, lo que pasa con Pearson es que también tienen otros libros, pero claro, hay más editoriales. Como se ve, también existen los libros, la editorial de Nat Geo, National Geographic. Tenemos demasiados, tanto los que se dan en colegio y demás, que no son los recomendables, porque están muy incompletos. Incluso el de Nat Geo es un libro bastante incompleto, entonces siempre se opta por utilizar Pearson. Entonces, como esta es una nueva plataforma, se tiene muchos problemas, ¿no? Incluso en el orden especial. Bueno, recién he notado, me percaté de que los condicionales no están en la forma, en el orden que deberían estar. Sí. Entonces, por eso es que tal vez a veces se sufre de inconvenientes. Incluso hay días en los que la aplicación, la plataforma no funciona porque está en mantenimiento, supuestamente. Entonces, deja de funcionar y hay, no sé, es todo un caos con Pearson, pero es la única que podemos utilizar porque es la más completa. Entonces, si es que te pasara de que, y eso les digo a los estudiantes, te pueda aparecer tal vez doble vez la tarea, los estudiantes a veces reniegan porque dicen, ya he hecho esto y no. Lo que pasa es que es Pearson, no es de nosotros el problema. Entonces, sí, con esa parte, tal vez si se podría tener la paciencia, estaría súper bien. Así que espero que no tengas inconvenientes, pero ya como hemos visto las lecciones que he mostrado, los títulos que tal vez bueno, que van a estar en la tarea y en el quiz, ya con eso no tendría que haber problema. Si es que tuvieras algún problema en cuanto a que la página no funcione o algo similar, no hay ningún problema. Yo siempre les doy unos días para poder completar. ¿Ok?
Okay, thank you much.
All right, that's cool. So now we're going to continue with the past perfect continuous. So I'm going to share my screen with you. So give me a second, please. Okay, again, we have another continuous form, right? And that's the reason why I asked you at the beginning, right? About the past continuous, right? Because today's lesson it's about past perfect continuous, right? Again, you can have or you can see all the time tenses that contains the past perfect continuous, present perfect continuous, present perfect, or no, that doesn't include. Present continuous, past continuous, future continuous, all the time tenses that contains a continuous form. The only thing that is going to change, right, is the time tense, because of something that all of these time tenses have in common is a continuous form. So when you're going to notice a continuous, right, you already know that you have to focus, right, or it means the action in progress, right? That was in progress, that is in progress, is going to be in progress, right? That's the only thing that you do have to know. Then the name, the title, past perfect, is the structure, right? And maybe could be the well, more than the structure. When does the action happen, right? Or when is going to happen, okay, in the past. Is going to happen right now, these days, and in the future, right? So with that, we're gonna listen the audio. We have the past perfect continuous.
Hi, you want to hear a funny coincidence? I've been thinking about my college roommate all day yesterday, and last night she called me. We hadn't talked to each other for a long time because we've been working so much. Had been thinking and had been working are examples of the past perfect continuous. Let's learn more.
Okay, let's continue. All right, Now you're gonna notice again in our timeline, we have the past, we have now, we have the future. So notice that we focus on the continuation of an action. We're not interested maybe when did it started, when did it finish, right? We only focus on the continuation of an action. So let's listen the audio.
We use the past perfect continuous to talk about something that was in progress before a specific time in the past. The past perfect continuous focuses on the continuation of an action, not the end result.
Talia arrived at 10 o'clock. I'd been waiting for 3 hours to hear the recording.
This means that Tony began waiting at 7, 3 hours before Talia arrived. Remember, we usually don't use continuous forms with non-action verbs.
Okay, let's continue. Give me a second, one of my students taught me. These guys, I explain you many times and they can still ask me. All right. Okay. All right, so let's continue. As a quick review of the past perfect simple, right? The past perfect simple is used to refer to something more in the past than another action or situation. Remember that we actually use this, we currently use this time tense with the simple past, right? For this reason, it's almost always find a combination with the past simple. For example, when I left the university, I already found a job, right? This means that the action of finding a job happened before leaving university, okay? That's all about the past perfect. There is no more, right? So when do we have to use the past perfect continuous? We're gonna use this same tense to refer to an ongoing action that ended before another action or event in the past. For example, I had been looking for a job for several months when I found this position, right? As with all continuous forms, when we use the past perfect continuous, we're focusing on the action itself, and possibly also the effect on the subject, right? Rather than its completion. For example, the workers had been unloading the truck when the summer started, right? So we want to show, right? Or let's take this other example. Talia arrived at 10. I've been waiting for 3 hours to hear the recording, okay? So it means that Tony, in this case, began waiting since 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. until 10 a.m., sorry, right? So it was a continuous action, right? We have a continuous action. And then finally, Talia arrived at 10. Okay, as you can see, in the same way that we use the past perfect tense, we do it, but with the continuous form. So there is nothing new in this part. It's only a combination, the past perfect with the continuous form with the ing. Okay, so when I add this ing form or this continuous form, the meaning is almost the same, right? I want to show two actions. As you can see, Talia arrived at 10. I've been waiting for 3 hours to hear the recording, right? But I'm showing, right, how much time did an action last, right? That's the point of this sentence. There is no more definitions for this, right? As we use the past perfect continuous, we refer to an ongoing action that ended before another action event in the past, as the same way of the past perfect simple time tense, okay? The only thing that we are doing is adding the continuous form, right? So, and then of course, when I want to show this continuous form, right, I also have to add the verb being, right? We have a meaning for this in Spanish, right? I hope you can understand, or maybe you can guide with it. But we have it, right? But there is nothing new in this part. The only new maybe that we're gonna see is the structure. Then the use of the past perfect is also the same way, is working at the same way as the past perfect by itself, right? So when we say continuous, we're only adding, or we are, well, more than adding the ing, we're trying to show that an action was in progress at some time in the past, okay? And when we say past perfect continuous, we have to know that we can combine, and it currently happens, we're combining two sentences in one clause in order to show that we have a first action that was in progress, and then we have an interrupted action. We could call an interrupted action, or we could call the second action. Okay?
Okay.
Is there any question maybe?
No.
All right, that's cool.
Just a question. Sorry. I have I to say the over time, the beginning of the action, like, or it's not necessary? In this case, we say tally right at 10 o'clock. But can I only say I've been waiting for 2 hours?
It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. It's up to you. If the context require, yes. For example, the example I gave you, I had been looking for a job for several months, not these days, for several months, right? So we actually have the time, right? The specific time, or to show for how much time you were waiting for something, but we add it to the past perfect, not in the simple past tense.
Okay.
Okay, so it's unnecessary if you want it, yes. If you don't, it's also okay. All right?
Okay.
All right, let's continue with point number 2.
We form the past perfect continuous with had been plus the base form of the verb plus ing.
I just found out that Dean had been lying the whole time.
Remember, in conversation, we often use contractions with pronouns. We also use the contraction hadn't for had not.
He hadn't been practicing with the team.
Okay, we create the sentences, right? We create sentences with the past perfect continuous by using have been. Of course, your subject, right? Your subject, the had been, that we are not going to modify this part unless you want to add a negative form that it's going to go between the auxiliary and the verb in its participle form. Then I'm not going to touch it, right? I have the main verb, right? This main verb is gonna be conjugated with the ing form, and that's all, right? She had been, she hadn't been lying, for example, right? I just found out, notice we're using the simple time tense. We're using the past perfect continuous, right? So if you want to use, we have the affirmative way, okay? With all the time tenses, we have the affirmative, the negative, and the question, right? The affirmative, for example, I'm gonna write a simple sentence. The affirmative is, I had been working. Oh, okay, this is the affirmative one. We have the subject, the auxiliary had, and the verb been, and the main verb plus ing. The negative could be I had not or I hadn't been working. Okay, and oh, all right. Now, how do you think we can construct a question? Could you please help me with this part?
Yes. Have I been working?
Had I been working? That's all in the question mark for sure. Okay, so there you have the affirmative, the negative, and the question, right? If I'm gonna use in third person, I'm gonna say he, she, it have been working, hadn't been working, or maybe the question had he, had she, had it been working? Okay, and that's all, right? The short answer, right? The short answer for the question is yes, I had. No, I hadn't, right? And there is some, you have to take care in this part because, well, it doesn't happen with this time tense, but if someone asks you with the present perfect, for example, then your answer, yes or no, needs to be in the present perfect though, right? Have you ever seen have you ever seen Titanic? Have you? Right? If I'm gonna say no, I don't, that's incorrect, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the question. That's the answer, right? So if the answer is the question, has the auxiliary form of have, the answer needs to be in that. So it always follows the same. It always follows the same structure, the same auxiliary verb from the question. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So maybe all right. He hadn't been practicing with the team, right? So notice that we're using the contraction, right? So it's up to you. Again, we are get used to use the contractions, right? And in formal English, I don't know, and I guess it's part of the language, right? Native speakers, even from Spanish and then English, unless French, right? We always try to omit some words, right? So if you use contractions, it's great. But in formal English, then you have to avoid contractions. And is there any question maybe?
No, it's okay.
That's cool. And we're gonna use by. So let's listen the audio.
We often use by to introduce the specific time in the past.
By 10 o'clock, I'd been waiting for 3 hours.
Okay, we have this introductory this introductory word, right? To introduce a specific time in the past, right? By 10, I've been waiting for 3 hours. By the time we finish the meal, we've been sitting around the table for 6 hours. Now, at the beginning, I told you, right, that it was unnecessary. If the context requires, it's okay, right?
Okay.
Not, it's also okay. Most of the times we require the time, but if you don't, it's okay because you can also use the past perfect continuous without the simple time tense, for example, right? Only if your context requires, but we currently use this. If you are going to do it, for example, the meeting ended. The meeting ended after they had been negotiating all afternoon. I'm not using by, right? Or I can also say, by the time we finish the meal, we had been sitting around the table for 6 hours, okay? I'm using by the time, right? So it is up to you. right? If it requires, you're gonna use it. If it doesn't, it's okay. So, okay. Okay, in this case, we have a short sentence. Notice that part. We have by 10. I could say, but by 10, no, by 10, Johnny arrived and I've been waiting for 3 hours, okay? I can use this time tense simple past. But then if it's very clear, I just omit it, right? So again, it's up to you as you feel comfortable with it, with any expression, and then it's up to you if you're gonna use, okay?
Okay.
Is there any question maybe?
Just I am not sure about if in the example by 10 I've been waiting for 3 hours. He or I was waiting after or before 10.
I'm sorry, could you repeat, or what do you mean, the structure, or?
No, just the context of the sentence. In the example says, by 10, I've been waiting for 3 hours. And I
Yes.
can't understand if I was waiting, I've been waiting after 10 or before 10.
Oh, okay, you mean the context, right?
Yes, the context.
Okay, by 10, I've been waiting for 3 hours, so it's already 10, okay? But I started at 7.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay, that's the context. It's similar to exercise number 1, but we are omitting the whole sentence. Okay, this is the second action.
Está bien. It's okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Now we're gonna finish with point number 4.
We also use the past perfect continuous to show a relationship with another past action. The earlier action is in the past perfect continuous. The later action is in the simple past.
I just found out that Dean had been lying the whole time.
In this example, first Dean lied to Jackie. Then, later, Jackie found out about it.
It was late. When Talia finally arrived, Tony and I had been waiting for 3 hours.
In this example, first, Tony and Amy started waiting. Then, Talia arrived.
Okay, that's all about this point. We can also use the past perfect continuous to show a relationship, and this is what we have from the beginning, right? As you've seen the examples, right? I just found out that Jane had been lying the whole time. It was late when Talia finally arrived. Tony and I had been waiting for 3 hours, right? When we want to show, and the same happened, and I explained you this many times at the beginning, right? The past perfect is combined with the simple past tense in order to show which action happened first, right? The same happens with this sentence, but the only difference is that we are adding the ing form in order to show for how much time did an action was in progress, right? That's the only thing, okay? Then the use of the past perfect, the continuous form, it's the same. There is nothing new. The only new, as I told you, is the structure, right? That we are adding the auxiliary, oh no, the verb in its participle form been, and that's all. Then the rest of the sentence, the rest of the lesson, it's the same, right? So it was late when Talia finally arrived. Tony and I had been waiting for 3 hours. The first action is that they started, right, or they had been waiting for 3 hours. Then notice, we actually do it, right? When we want to show for how much time did an action was in progress. We use for 3 hours, for 2 days, for I don't know, for 3 weeks, right? And then for 6 months, right? It's not necessary, but we currently do it, right, in order to show how much the action was in progress in the past, in this case, right? So I would recommend you if you consider, if it's not obvious, right, to use these 4 in order to show for how much time did an action was in progress in the past. For example, we have been preparing the house for hours, right? I'm not saying specifically how much hours, but I'm saying for hours. So it means a progress. For hours before the first guest arrived. The meeting ended after they had been negotiating all afternoon. All afternoon is a phrase that is talking about a progressive action. He hadn't been feeling well for a long time. It's not a specific time, but it's a time, right? This time it's helping me to identify for how much time does an action was in progress. Again, or what else can we say? She was covered in flour because she had been making a cake. In this case, I'm not using, and it's okay, right? But I'm showing the which action happened first, right? I'm showing the first action, the earlier action, and the later action. Okay. So, or if I'm gonna use it in a question, had the car been working well before the accident? Okay. Notice that I'm not using for. Oh, is there any question? Sorry.
No, it's okay.
All right. So, how this tense compares to the present perfect continuous? It's a common question. As you perhaps remember, we use a present perfect continuous to focus on the duration of an action. Okay, the duration and effect of an ongoing action. For example, you're here finally. I've been waiting for over an hour, right? We use the continuous form of the past perfect in a similar way, but in the past, and that's all, right?
Okay.
The only difference is that one is in past and the other one is in present. Okay. So, and something that is necessary to clarify, when not to use the past perfect continuous. As with other continuous tenses, as you remember, there are some verbs that can't be used with the past perfect continuous because they are stated verbs, right? Rather than action verbs, okay? We have stated verbs and we have action verbs. When do we have to, or how am I gonna notice it? It's very easy. If the action that you are gonna mention, for example, know, I know this verb, there is no way to this verb implies an action. When I say I know, I'm not saying, or I'm not movement, I don't have movements, or something like that. So if it's the case, that's a stated verb. So you're gonna recognize it, that it's unnecessary the use of this verb in with this sentence. So what I'm gonna do, if I want to place, or if I want to combine this verb with the past perfect if the situation requires, I'm only gonna use the past perfect. If it's a present perfect continuous and I want to combine this verb know with the present perfect continuous, I'm gonna erase the continuous and I'm gonna just use it with the present perfect, and that's all. Simple present, for example. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, is there any question, maybe?
No, I don't have questions.
All right, that's cool. So, all right. So, as I have other class right now, right? If you don't have any other question, we're gonna stop until this part. Okay.
Yes, it's okay.
All right. Is there any question maybe about the lesson, the homework, the quiz in general, maybe?
No, it's okay.
All right, that's cool. So thank you for your attention. I'm gonna see you tomorrow at the same hour, right?
Yes, it's okay. So
Okay, that's
sorry to don't stay in the class yesterday, and
oh
thanks
no,
for recording the class.
no, don't worry. There are some cases, right? We can join to the class for any reason. So if it's the case, the only thing that I'm gonna ask you is
Okay.
to let me know. And then if you can, maybe for because of your job, and then don't worry, I'm gonna leave the class recorded. So
Okay.
we're gonna continue with the advance. Okay?
Thanks so much. Thanks.
All
It's,
right, don't worry. I'm sorry?
it's okay. Thanks so much.
Okay, that's cool. So if you have any other inconvenience like that, just let me know.
Okay.
And I'm gonna record the class. I'm gonna send you the link. And if you have questions about the video, and you have the YouTube channel there. Sometimes we can remember about the lesson we've seen, and then so you have all the classes in our YouTube channel, and then you can watch all of them, and then continue asking something if you have. Okay?
Okay. Thanks so much.
All right, that's cool. So I'm going to launch the first poll, right? Oh, I guess, yes, I did it. Okay, so when it's done, let me know.
It's done.
All right, thank you. So
Thank you.
now I'm gonna continue with the second one, please. In a second, how do I, oh, okay. All right, so this is the E1 or E2, I guess, right? So once it's done, let me know.
It's done.
Okay, thank you. So that will be everything for today, Walter. I hope you had a great night, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow at the same time, right?
See you tomorrow. It's okay at the same time.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.